Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of LivingYosh. My guest today is someone whose story proves that you don't need to start with a massive plan to make a massive difference. Dr. Jonathan Donath built his career as a chiropractor, helping people overcome physical pain. But one night, while going to Marv and putting $1 into the Tzedakah box, a simple thought entered his mind. What if we could make giving Tzedakah every single day part of our lives again? That would become daily giving, a movement built around a remarkable, simple idea. Give a little every day, together and collectively we make an enormous difference. But what inspires me most about Jonathan's story is that it didn't explode overnight. It took persistence, belief, and the willingness to keep going even when the numbers weren't what was expected. Today, I want to talk about the person behind the mission, the kid he was, the doctor he became, the idea that wouldn't leave his head, his faith, the obstacles, and what he's learned from helping others. Dr. Jonathan Donath, welcome to LivingYosh.
Thank you, Yosh. Appreciate it.
It's an honor to have you. Really, it's so special. So thank you. So I want to start off with talking about you as a child, the kind of person that you were growing up. Because obviously you're an amazing person now. I want to see what led to that.
Sure. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota called St. Louis Park, a suburb of Minneapolis. It's kind of funny we're having this conversation literally in an hour from right after we finished recording. I'm going to pick up my parents. They're moving after 50 years in Minnesota.
Wow.
They're landing in Newark Airport in a couple hours, and they're moving to Teaneck, New Jersey. So it's the end of an era in Minnesota. My
Oh my gosh.
parents were really a pillar of the community for the last 50 years, and I have 3 siblings in New Jersey, and I'm in New York, and so they're finally coming to be closer to their kids and grandkids, and we're very excited. But growing up yeah. So growing up in a small town in Minnesota was really great. Just really nice people. There's a joke of how do people spend the Sunday afternoons in Minnesota at a 4-way stop sign? No, you go. No, 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 you go. No, you go. So everyone's really nice, and it's aesthetically a very beautiful place. And I lived in a very open home where my parents were just so giving. We always had so many Shabbos guests. My father was a professor at University of Minnesota, and we would have non-Jewish people, we would have Jewish people, we would have observant people, non-observant people, and it was just a massive mix. And we used to, I was just talking about this the other day, where we had my Russian cleaning lady was at our Pesach Seder every year. That was the kind of home I had. I was really, privy to witness giving from a very young age. And blessed that my parents are coming and leaving Minnesota in good health and coming to New Jersey for the next chapter.
What was the Jewish community like in where you grew up?
So very diverse, a very big Reform and conservative community, and a relatively small Orthodox community, about 400 or 500 families. There was, of course, there was 2 shuls when I grew up. The shul I went to, the shul we didn't go to. Like the famous joke. But it's really, really just great people. Just like it's really all about the people. Just I mean, it's just as the last couple of days as my parents are moving, just thinking about so many of the different personalities. My teachers growing up at the Jewish Day School, Torah Academy. It was great. I'm still some of my best friends are from Minnesota today.
I kind of can relate because I don't know if you know a little town called Poway in California. It's actually unfortunately where one of the shootings happened. But I
Yeah.
grew up there, and it's kind of similar to what you said in my community. It wasn't the most religious crowd per se, but we had like amazing connection. Everyone had their opinions, everyone had their characteristics, but we're so close, and there was so much love for the religion. And we actually were the same. We used to host tons of families on Pesach, so I definitely know what you're talking about. And it really it gives you a whole new perspective on how the religion could be and how we could all connect in a different way. So I definitely appreciate
Yeah.
that.
100%. And then there was no Jewish high school, so I went away to Chicago for high school for 4 years. I dormed at Skokie Yeshiva.
No way. That's where I
Yeah.
went.
No.
I did. I went to Valley Torah for about 2 months. I used to take the train every weekend from San Diego. And then because I have a lot, you probably know my family.
Are you related to Evan?
Evan Markel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Wow. Evan and I went to Mosheva together.
No,
And Lindsay, right? Lindsay
that's
also?
my sister.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Good people.
So you know Donnie Schwartz?
Yeah, of course. He was my high school class.
That's
Great
my
guy.
cousin.
That's right. I remember now that the Markells were cousins with Donnie.
And the
Yes.
Franz, Jamie Friend and like, yeah,
Yeah, sure.
that's my cousin too.
Good people.
Oh my
Jamie,
gosh.
Jamie with the great voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I used to get hooked up in Moshe because Donnie was my counselor, so he got to warm stuff up in the microwave, and I'm like, this is cool.
love it. Wow, what a small world. Yeah.
Wait,
So
so when were you in
is it your
Stoke?
mom and Donnie's mom or sisters?
Yeah,
I think I met your mother before. I'm almost positive. Your
Mara
aunt, she's
Judy,
very special. I don't know your mom well, but your aunt's very special.
Cindy, and Buzzy are
Cindy.
like the pillars of the
There.
community. Like they're the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot believe it. Wow. Wait,
Yeah.
so when did you go to Mosheva? Was I there? Oh no,
I
because
mean,
you know my
I'm
brother
Donnie's
went.
age. I'm Donnie's age. So I'm older than you.
Yeah,
Let's see. I was in Mosheva. My last year was Machal, so 1993.
I can't even believe this. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone came up to me during chakras yesterday and like, oh, I just hung out with your cousin Rami at Mosheva. I guess they do like a comeback thing where like you go back and visit. I'm like, oh my God, it's so funny. Like some people
Wild.
are lifelong Moshevars.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
I want to,
So you're from San Diego, right? I remember Evan from
yeah,
San
so
Diego,
San
right?
Diego originally, we lived in the college area, big Beth Jacob shul, like a massive shul. And then we moved to Poway, where it's a little different horses, and we started in a trailer. But then you get the right donor, you have a massive shul for no disrespect, but like the rabbi used to scream my name on Friday night because I lived right there for Minyan, so it's a little different, but it's all good.
That reminds me of a really great story. One of my best friends lived next door to our shul, and he let's just say his father became religious, and then they moved from New York to Minnesota. His father became religious, and he was kind of coming along, but not really there. And they lived right next door. So one day, the rabbi called, and his sister picked up the phone because they needed like a 10th man. So she screams upstairs. I won't say his name. She screams upstairs, his name. She's like, the rabbi's on the phone. He needs a minion. Should I tell him you're not home? Yeah,
We have a lot in common. I can't believe it.
yeah.
So you want to hear the craziest thing? So we literally lived right there, like I told you. We had 4 Great Danes. We were a Great Dane family. My
Wow.
friend's bar mitzvah, they literally escaped and they ran into the shul looking for me. Three of the 4 Great Danes literally ran into my friend's bar mitzvah.
Wild.
It's pretty cool. I got some good
Yeah,
stories too. So I want to ask you this. As
sure.
a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think my first want was to be a baseball player. I think I really wanted to be a baseball player for a while. Then I wanted to be a doctor,
Oh, wow.
and that was like when I was really young, and then I got off that idea of being. I think I wanted to. Um, I don't know why I thought like delivering babies would be cool. So I thought, being an OBGYN would be really cool. And then my mom's like, Jonathan, you hate getting up early in the morning. OBs have to get up like at the crack of dawn. I'm like, oh, you're right. Okay, that was the end of that. That was the end of that desire. And then I always kind of had a good business mind. So I thought I was going to go into business. I actually was in Sims in YU and in the business school. And then I went to Camp Hask for a
See,
summer.
my brother
And
went to YU. You
which
knew in
brother?
YU
Evan?
also?
I mean, again, I knew your brother for a long time. So like, I don't
I
remember
can't even
how
believe it.
we crossed paths for many years.
So
Like,
he's a
so
PA now for a heart doctor.
wow, cool.
He
Cool.
did
Yeah.
prosthetics, and I guess he didn't like it. So he was actually in the military. He was in the Navy, and he went to
No
school
way.
there. Yeah, yeah. He was at a base in Michigan. Yeah, and then he was in charge of like a whole troop, and I guess he passed this test where he could go to some type of med school there. And yeah, then he went to Stanford. He got his PhD.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the book smart of the family. Yeah, yeah,
Very cool.
he's had his yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. So obviously you're a chiropractor, like I mentioned. So do you remember the first patient where you're like, wow, I really can make a difference in somebody's life? Or it doesn't even have to be the first one where you're just like, wow, I'm really doing this. I'm really helping people.
Yeah, I mean, the last 20 years I've been in practice has been just just a blessing, like every day. And if I feel like as I get older and as I learn more about the human body, the human psychology, and myself, um, I literally now see how God literally brings patients into my life. Like sometimes their back has to go out for them to get another message. Like recently, I had a patient who, whose daughter went through a real struggle, and I saw how much stress was causing the mother, and stress makes pain worse in the body, and her back went
Yeah.
out, and yeah, and it was just I said some things just to kind of flip a little bit of a something that I in her mind about her daughter, and it was just like I see she just broke down crying in my office, and I could tell like her back went out because I was the messenger to give her some message that she needed to hear. So I feel like it's just amazing. Like when you feel like sometimes you're a shaliach, you're a messenger and so that just happened recently. It was like a wow moment. But I feel like that people come to my office every day, and I'm half chiropractor, half psychologist. So
How
yeah.
hard is it to not get emotionally involved with your patients? Like you just told me a story just now. Um, is that tough? I mean, they probably talk to you about everything.
Yeah. It takes time to learn that piece of like I remember in chiropractic school they would say don't become friends with your patients.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen, and it's just not who I am. It's not who, so I've become friends with many of my patients. Dozens and dozens and dozens of my patients are my friends now. um it's not for everyone. It's just, everyone's personality is different, and it works for me. And I'm told by my patients that the level of care they feel from me is, different than any other doctor they've ever met, and that's because I do care. So, to your question is, does then that affect me? Sometimes it does, but it's okay, right? We're so afraid to feel ourselves. We're so afraid of feeling pain, right? We're like we grow up and we're just, everyone wants to doesn't want to feel pain, so we try to push pain away. But if you learn how to feel pain and be good at holding pain, then it's okay, because the more you love something or someone, then the more joy you can have. Now that also means there's the flip side of that you could lose that person, that some person could hurt you and you could be abandoned, and that could cause a lot of pain to you. And that's what most people are afraid of. So kind of that's what I would say. Over the years, I've learned that not to be afraid. It's okay to hold to feel your pain, to hold your pain, and this is really new. Honestly, Yosh, I'd say in only the last 3-4 years, as I've kind of learned more about myself, and um, learned how important it is for men in particular to feel pain. Women are more emotional, so women, it's more common for them to show emotion and feel pain. But men, we like to push pain down, push it away, repress pain, and so that's one thing that I've learned. Emotions are energy in motion, and if you don't keep that motion, that energy in flow, it gets stuck in your body. So if you something happens and you like, oh, that's too painful, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to feel that, it gets stuck in your body, and eventually it'll catch up. It'll end up as pain, dysfunction, or disease, which obviously we don't want that. So that's how important it is, what I'm telling you, to be able to sit with our pain, hold our pain, and it's okay. Just breathe through it. Sometimes it hurts. Emotional pain is much worse than physical pain. People do not understand this concept. It's much worse, right? And that's why we're so afraid of it. And so if we're able to sit with the pain and hold the pain, um, anybody listening to this, your life will change if you're able to sit and learn to feel your own pain.
And I think it's also to have someone to be able to open up to. I mean, I personally, based on what I went through, there's no way I was able to get through this on my own. I mean, I don't. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be even a specialist. But you need to have someone to talk to. You cannot hold inside. I see people who just, they look trapped. They try to hide it. They try to be like, everything's okay all the time. But it's so important to let it out. It is. Like you said, it's a big weight on you. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Both, I would say, I agree with you. To let it out is very, very important, to talk to someone, but also to feel it, to literally feel the pain.
Yeah.
You're in our body,
You
you know?
can't pretend it's not there
Exactly.
because it
Exactly.
will
So
come back.
when you feel pain in your chest or your throat or your jaw or something, like just like uncomfort, that emotional feelings coming up, and yeah, let it be there. Our instinct is to get that thing away. I do not want to think about that. I do not want to have that. So yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive, but once I learned this, it's a total game changer.
Well, you're all about, you know how to give, and you have to give to yourself also. You have to take care of yourself, not just others.
hundred
Got
percent.
to start with you. How are you going to give the energy to somebody else?
Yeah, yeah. People don't realize, right? Like it's like the greatest analogy I've heard of that is like the airplane when they say put your oxygen mask on yourself before
Yep.
helping others, right? Like you have to have if your cup is not full, then you can't give to others. And really, when you lots of people even giving can be unhealthy giving because they're giving for external validation. I would say even I was there just to some extent at some point of um certainly I was not as healthy as I am now in terms of and I'm still growing, right? Always trying to grow more and but even well, I'm sure we'll get into it later, but we can come back to daily giving. But just the fact that the pressure I felt, like I was so driven to grow daily giving and so driven that people would come up and be like, this is amazing what you built. And I'd be like, ugh, I'd be like, it would be like, it would just be upset. Like it should be 100 times bigger. It should be 100 times bigger. And I would be so hard on myself. And that was coming from a place of just kind of not feeling like, I'm enough and needing external validation, and I realize that now. I didn't realize it then. So
It's okay if it takes time. We all figure things out at certain, as long as one day we figure it out. I mean,
exactly.
everyone's
Exactly.
on a different time frame. Trust me.
Sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
I love that. Yeah. So I want to ask you, how passionate, not you personally, but were you about telling people about giving? I want to get to daily giving, but I wanted to start with this. How important was it for you to send a message to people about giving tzedakah before you started daily giving? Was it something that you spoke out about, or were you
Totally non-existent.
totally
Totally
honest?
non-existent. It was not a I mean, I'm an Orthodox Jew. Whenever I'm in shul, I put $1 in the tzedakah box. I give plenty of tzedakah, but I don't. I have my own business. My wife doesn't work outside the house, so like it was always like tight. Money was tight, so I always made enough. I paid full tuition to the school, but after that, I had to put away money for my own retirement. I had
Yeah.
to put money for my kids' college fund. I didn't have a lot of extra, so I gave. But if I'm being honest now, did I give 10%? No. Maybe if you counted the kids' tuition, but um, and so giving was I'd say I was like an average person in giving. At least I think so. I mean, or I gave, but I could have given more, and I didn't understand how good giving could be for me. I didn't understand any of it. So like some people say like, wow, was tzedakah like your mitzvah that you connected to since you were a kid? And I'm like, nope, it wasn't. It was kind of a surprise as it came on. Now I understand why and how and why it came on, and kind of my grandfather was all four of my grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and my mom grew up very, very poor, so poor that like when they would tell tell the school, you need to bring in 3 pencils, my grandfather would say, I'm so sorry, we can only afford one. Like that's the level of poverty my mom grew up in. Um but every day they had a tzedakah box. Like every single day, he was very big on them putting money in the tzedakah box, a penny every day. I didn't find that out till years after I started daily giving. Just to give you an idea, like how crazy that is. Like that was like my something my grandfather was, even though he was so poor, was such a big proponent. I remember very early on, I was on a podcast, and someone asked me, "Why do you think you had this? Why do you think you had the merit of starting daily giving?" And I was like, "It's not me. It's my
You took
grandfather."
my question. Okay, fine.
Yeah. 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 It was totally, I used to say that is like 100% not me. It was my grandfather and what he did. I mean, there's famous stories of being in Siberian labor camps where literally he would give half his ration he was a very short man, and he gave
Amazing.
half his ration to much bigger prisoners. Just can imagine, right? And then later they all saved his life when the guards wanted to kill my grandfather, like just crazy stuff. So that was my Zaidi. And yeah, it definitely passed on. Like I said, with my mother and my father, and just the way they grew up, and the way my home was always open to guests. Like my friends, it was always the hangout. It was always it was always the place to be. Again, it's just like a non-judgmental. This is what my Zaidi was known for also. Just like his famous line was, he wasn't the rabbi. He was the shamus of a shul, but he was the rabbi. He was the spiritual leader of this community for I think over 60 years. And his famous line was, "Come more often, bring more friends." It didn't matter what you looked like. There would be like, a guy with like dreadlocks with tattoos all over his body come into this, and he'd be like, everyone was just, it was Chabad. My grandfather was like the first. I don't know what's first, but he was like totally Chabad without being Chabad. Yeah,
So, it's funny because now that we go back to, when you're growing up and your family was so welcoming, it's almost like you were daily giving just a different way. You always had the
yeah,
daily giving in you, whether it went
yeah.
back to your grandfather or your parents. So it's kind of funny that you kind of
It
took
is.
daily giving with a whole new meaning. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So I want to get to the organization because that's the most important thing. So how has daily giving affected you mentally and your approach to even Yiddishkeit? And how has your daily life changed with daily giving?
Yeah. I mean, I think in life we're all growing. I hope, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
I hope
just
so.
it was one of my good friends' birthday yesterday, and we're the same age.
Mine,
So,
so
and I was just saying to him, I was like life is like, doesn't life just get better every year? Like every year, I feel like it just gets better and better and better. And I literally think it's continue and will. Um, and so obviously daily giving is such an enrich part of my life, and it's not the only part of my life though. So I don't know how much is because of daily giving and how much is just my own journey through life, right? But the last 8 years from when I had the idea of daily giving until now, my life has changed tremendously. I you know Yosh, like you don't know what you don't know, right?
I know.
And what, right, like I didn't know. I was a happy person. I wasn't. If I look back at myself, I wouldn't be like, oh, who's that guy? Like that, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed of that guy who I was 8 years ago. I wasn't ashamed of who I was. I was a good guy. I was a good person. I was a good Jew. I was good. But I will tell you now, like the level of people misunderstand the word self love, right? It's so misunderstood. Um, but I really have come to understand that maybe the most important thing in life is to come to love yourself, right? And to forgive yourself and to be nice to yourself and be kind to yourself and to realize that there are parts of ourselves that we may not like, but those parts are actually there to protect us. And when you learn that and you come to understand that those parts are all part of you, and so over these last 8 years, this journey, I've come to appreciate myself and to love myself, and even these parts that I didn't like, to understand why they're there. And so that this path of the last 8 years has really, and daily giving's been a big part of that, is like finding self-love. And so that is I'm very passionate about. I hope, I did a TED talk last year, and if I ever do another TED talk, I think it's going to be on self love, because if anyone is listening here and doesn't understand what I'm saying, one day I hope you'll understand that it's self love.
Yeah,
Self
that's
love
good.
is very, very, very important, because if you love yourself, then you come from a place, you're just all about abundance, and you're just people. Unfortunately, in our society, there's not that many people that really love themselves for the right. Not, again, there are people that are like, oh, I love myself, I treat myself to everything, and I'm, being narcissistic and selfish is different from loving yourself, and so coming to a place of self appreciation, self love, and that way, when you do something that you're like, okay, maybe I did something today I'm not proud of, but okay, I'm okay. It's okay. We make mistakes and we can love ourselves and move on, And so that's been kind of a really great part of my journey the last 8 years, that daily giving's been a big part of. And one of my, when I talk to people about self-love, I mean, I have like a three-pronged approach basically. And like prong number two is be a giver, which obviously fits into daily giving. And I've seen what that does, because if you're a giver, if you believe, like, even it only has to be 51%, but if 51% of you feels that you're a giver, which basically means like you're good, like you feel like, oh, I'm good, that's it. It's like an upward spiral from there. And so giving is, the reward that you get from giving is that you're a giver, and people don't understand that, right? So I didn't understand that, and so why it's such a bracha to do what I do now is, like, my job is to literally help people become givers, even if it's $1 a day. Like, it's really not the amount, it's the frequency. And giving is a muscle. And the more you give, just like working out, the more you build that muscle, the easier it becomes. And then eventually you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm a giver. I'm a good person. You feel good about yourself. And let me tell you, there's no downside about feeling good about yourself. None. It's really important to feel good about ourselves.
It really it actually makes me a little emotional because I can relate based on what I went through. I didn't love myself a lot because very simply because I couldn't give back. I felt like I was worthless, and whether it was tzedakah or even going out and helping someone because I was trapped in my house. But one of the things that I loved more than anything when I was working and doing okay was to be able to give back with tzedakah. To me, like you said, there's no negative part of it. You feel good. There's no like, oh man, I shouldn't have given that, or maybe it is the best feeling, and that's why on social media you see these like guys that do like videos for like homeless or whatever it is. You see it's a big thing now. It puts such a smile on anyone's face who watches it, and it puts tears in your eyes because there's nothing better than helping someone by giving, especially tzedakah, and it doesn't hurt. It only helps, and you can
Yeah,
always give something. $1 a day. Like it's it's a no brainer, and you make it easier because it's just auto. They do it for you, and I'm
yeah,
telling you, that's what hurt me so much. I couldn't love myself because I couldn't give. It was
yeah,
so painful. I felt like, what am I doing then? Because I can't love myself without helping someone else. That's just who I am, kind of like you. You just want to give back. And not to get too spiritual. That's why Hashem put us here
wait,
to help
why
others.
should we not get too spiritual? What's wrong with getting spiritual?
I don't know. I always say that because it's just I don't know why I naturally say that. I don't know. We should because that's what keeps us going. I had to be spiritual to survive. So I don't know why I said that, but you're right. We should. And
Yeah,
inside, it makes me feel amazing that I can't give a lot, but the fact that I can give again, it's the best feeling because even when you're down and you help someone else, don't tell me it doesn't make you smile. Don't tell me that.
yeah,
That's crazy. Then I'm
yeah,
telling you, the worst part for me that I was down because I couldn't give back the way I was able to before. But it was my fault because I was always able to give a little something. I'm just like, that's not good enough. But it's always good enough. It's always good to give. I
yeah,
totally agree with you.
yeah. I mean, they say like, people who are suicidal or struggling with mental health, like, you know, put them in a situation where they can give whatever it is, let them help other teens their age, or help let something with special needs kid, like bring them to a place where they could be grateful for their own health, and also they could give. There's nothing that fills you up more than giving. I mean, if you think about it, like it's literally in our DNA to give. Like we were born to every species on earth is there to pass on life, to give, right? So giving actually puts us in our highest and most deep alignment. It's really in our deepest essence. So when we give, that's what we're doing. That's why it feels so good. We're like and God is the ultimate giver. And literally, the reason we're here on Earth is because God wanted to give. He didn't have to. He wanted to. And so giving literally makes us. It's the most godly thing we can do.
I
And
agree.
so when we give, that's why it feels so good. We might not know why, but that's, I think, ultimately why is like it's like literally we're emulating God in giving. And that's why giving's so hard also, Yosh. Like I've seen in my 7.5 years since we started daily giving, like like, why do we only have 24,000 Jews? Yeah, it's not just Jews. Why do we have 24,000 people giving $1 a day, and why don't we have 100,000 or 200,000 or 500,000 yet? And the answer is, I've seen it over and over, is like giving is so hard for people because it has such a profound effect. It's so good for us that God had to make it hard for us. And so, especially, like, we work so hard for our money, and we have so many other things that we need our money for, and worries and fears, and and so God made it really hard to give.
Yeah,
Some people, there's like 1% of all people, like I've seen it, like there's like 1% that just like they love to give. Like it's like it gives them an amount of pleasure that I've seen it's like 1%. But everyone else, and I put myself definitely in that other part, is like giving was hard for me. And would it feel good when I give? Yes, but it was like a push and pull. It was like, every time I gave, I was like, because I was feeling a lack, right? I was feeling scarcity. And when you give and you give more, you end up feeling more abundance and more abundance and more abundance. So it's like actually the thing that actually could help you most is giving more.
but I'll let you know also that when you give, and not that you're looking for anything in return, I'm telling you, when I've given a good amount of tzedakah, or even given tzedakah, within even a couple of days, it comes back even more. I'm telling you, that's why it,
Yeah.
it comes back. I don't care what anyone says, it comes back. whether it's in
100%.
money or in good health, whatever, it does come back. If you just open your eyes and you realize what changed in your life overnight, I'm telling you, tzedakah gives back. It comes back so much stronger. I don't
Yeah.
care what you
You
say,
know,
it does.
on this topic, before we even get into daily giving, I just want to tell your listeners, because it's not about daily giving, and that is that I'm very, very passionate about this particular thing, and that that basically I've seen that I think it's unbelievable how many Jews don't give 10%, right? And I was one of those people. And so I'm not talking, I understand my stresses and why I was there, but um, what I do now is I literally every time I get paid, I started a donor advised fund. It's called the DAF, donor advised fund. There's many of them you can look out. There's one called donor funds, another called Pledger. There's Jewish Communal Fund. There's Matbia. There's several. Fidelity has one. And the way it works is you could literally sign up. I think I signed up in under 5 minutes. It costs nothing. Some costs, so you have to look at some are free. Okay, there's no minimums, and you sign this thing up. So then, whenever I get paid, of any money hits my bank account, I go on the app on my phone, and I just deposit 10% into the donor
Oh,
advised
no
fund.
way.
And that donor advised fund is a tzedakah fund. Basically, you can only give that money out for charity. Okay. Now, but you also there's a tax advantage. Okay. So every time I'm giving, I put in an account, even if I haven't given out yet, I will get that amount of tax deduction in this year, whatever year it is. Okay. And hopefully people give it out regularly. There are people that like then have this massive amount stuck in their tzedakah account. I don't understand that. But what you realize is when you give 10%, first of all, like your life will change. I'm just telling you right now, what I'm
You're
telling you
right.
is a cheat code
Yep.
to a
You're
meaningful
right.
life.
Yep.
There's lots of people that listen to this and hear this will not listen and be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and they won't do it. But I'm telling you, the ones that do,
Hmm.
I don't need to thank you. It will change your life.
Yep.
The blessings that will come into your life, the way you feel about yourself, because 10% of a lot of money is a lot of money. People do not realize, like, we Jews have expensive lifestyles. We have Jewish tuitions. We have to make a lot of money just to live, right? And 10% is a lot, right? But when you put that aside, I'm just telling you, you'll get raises, you'll get business deals will come. Like your income will just go up and up and up, and no one's ever gone poor or their house went into foreclosure because they gave too much tzedakah.
It's You need to say it even stronger because it's so true. By the way, it's literally a cheat code to success in so many. It really is. Like if you believe in God, no matter who the God is, no matter what you believe, I'm telling you, they prize you with success or good health when you give tzedakah. I can't say it stronger enough because I've experienced it.
Yeah,
I think I survived because my family still gave tzedakah. I'm telling you, we were in the
yeah,
worst situation. No matter what situation you're in, I know it's hard. It's hard just to take that little bit that you're making and give 10% because in on paper it's like 10% is a lot of the little bit I make. It comes back. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome, good stuff.
It's true. So I want to get more into daily giving than your story behind it, but I want to just kind of know, and I know you shared this a bunch of times. I want to know the story that really just brought daily giving to your mind. I know you gave Stucca one night. Can you tell a bit more about what led to daily giving?
Sure, sure. Again, I was just a regular guy, regular chiropractor, and wasn't looking to start a nonprofit. I was not searching for anything. I was a very busy guy. And one of my friends told me about a YouTube video of a rabbi who had a near death experience. And the way he spoke about it, like, was like, wow, I definitely want to watch that. Can you send me the link? He sends me the link. It was 2 hours long. Like 2 hours is a long time for me, you know. So I'd watch 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And so I'll tell you a little bit about it real quick, but you should look for the rabbi's name is Rabbi Alon Anava, Anava. Okay. There's many videos of him online. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers and people have heard his story. And essentially, he said, you see him in this video with a long beard and but he had tattoos all over his body, piercings. He said he was a drug dealer, he went to jail. I mean, he said, I wasn't just a secular Jew. He's like, I purposely ate cheeseburgers on Yom Kippur. He's like, that's the kind of Jew I was. Okay. And he overdosed on drugs and he died. And this 2-hour video was about this afterlife experience before he came back to life. And in this experience, there was many things in that that changed my life. Actually, 5 years later, I watched the video again. It changed my life a second time. But what he said, the part I want to share with you, is that he said that at one point he was in this black abyss of pain and suffering for what felt like 2 billion years. And he said the message he got was, you don't even have one single mitzvah, nothing to elevate you to the next level. Like, sorry, you're stuck. And the message, and so the message he felt was like, if he would come back to life, that we're here in this world to do and to help, to take action. And you never know what good deed, what mitzvah is going to put you over that proverbial edge. And, if we're approaching Rosh Hashanah, put you in that book of life, right? And I finished this video, and it was very powerful. And I went into my local Marav Minyan, and I put $1 in tzedakah box, like I've done, I don't know, thousands of times in my life. And at that moment, I had an epiphany that no matter how much money I give to charity, I still get a mitzvah for this $1. So I was like, how can I guarantee that no matter what, every single day, I'm doing a mitzvah of tzedakah for $1, at least $1? Like, what a no-brainer. Like a dollar, a mitzvah for $1, like what a deal. So I ran home, and I was like, it was like such a deep, like I never had an epiphany before. It was like bored into my soul, like this idea. Like I literally thought to myself, I just had $1 billion idea. And I ran home and I started Googling, is anybody automating daily tzedakah giving? And I couldn't find anything. So I called up my website guy, Shaul, and I said, Shaul, what do you think of this idea? He's like, I love it. I said, can you build me a website? He said, absolutely. Called two of my other best friends. We started
And to be right away.
Yeah, I started, we started meeting, figure out how do we start a nonprofit, what tzedakah is what we give to, like all these different things we had to figure out. And then I had another idea. I was like, I listen to Torah Anytime a lot, and
Me too.
yeah, and
Thanks,
love it. He's a good man, and the voice of Torah Anytime is Rabbi Pesach Krohn. After before and after every shiur is Rabbi Pesach Krohn.
Rabbi Crow. I listen to him all the time. I have his books. He is amazing in my mind. Like I would advertise him every day. He is
Love
the
it.
best.
Okay, this is everybody listening. Go on Torah Anytime. Start listening to Rabbi Pesach Krohn. You're going
Yes,
to be inspired.
please.
You're going to be
Oh my God.
inspired.
And you know
Let
what?
me tell you,
He went through a lot. He had a stroke, and he's still
did
going. He's
he
still
did.
using that gift to help. It's okay. Sorry, I just when I hear Rabbi
No,
Pesach Crohn, I'm like I get excited because I'm a big fan.
yeah, you should be. He's the real deal in person too. So I didn't know Rabbi Krohn, but I listened to him all the time, and he would talk about Torah Anytime and talk about how like he would give this speech, and instead of being in front of 100 people, there'd be like 10,000 people would hear it in Argentina and Chile and Canada and Mexico by tomorrow. And I was like, wow, if I can get Rabbi Pesach Krohn to talk about daily giving the way he talks about Torah Anytime, I'm going to blow this thing up. So I got Rabbi Krohn's number, which, by the way, another thing. Let's not skirt past that idea, right? Like, there's no rabbi in the world, pretty much, no rabbi in the world that you can't get a hold of or go see or talk to if you want to badly enough. No one, right? Like, you can't go see the Pope just because you want to see the Pope. You
Yeah,
can't go see Elon Musk just because you want to see Elon Musk, right? Like,
yeah.
but if you want to see any rabbi in the world bad enough, you will get in to see that rabbi. If you think about that,
Yeah,
okay?
and
So
I experienced it. I had some great Gedolim who usually don't do house calls when I couldn't leave my house, and they came. It was
wow.
unreal. Yeah.
So special. That's something. Another amazing thing about the Jewish community that we take for granted. But I got Rabbi Krohn's number, and I called him up, and my heart was literally beating out of my chest. And he picks up the phone, the voice of Torah Anytime, and I told him the idea, and he said it's a great idea. He said no one's doing it. I said, Rebbe, no one's doing it. And he said, okay, but I think you need to come up with a rabbinical council of rabbis that people trust, because people don't know you. They need to, when it comes to tzedakah, people really need to know that it's going to the right place. I said, that's a great idea. So that's what we did. We formed a rabbinical council, and we went live with our website, dailygiving.org, launched on January 1st, 2019. And that was just the very, very beginning. I'll tell you where we are now, but now we're giving out over $24,600 every day.
Wow.
Every day goes up. That's over, if you're doing the math, that's over $9 million a year that we give out. We've given out over $34 million since we started, and we don't take a penny. 100 cents of your dollar goes to charity, and we fundraise separately for all the overhead. And every day, our over 24,000 givers from 51 countries get an email that tells them where their money goes that day. And we have over a diversified portfolio of over 100 different Jewish nonprofits that we give to. So we give to poverty and widows and orphans and cancer and special needs and substance abuse and mental health. And, it's really an amazing list. And people just love being a part of it. We have like a 99.9% satisfaction rate. Like getting them to sign up is just, like we talked about how hard it is for people to give. Like everyone's like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Um, but there's just so much resistance to giving. So like, it's so good for you. But after the thought, I was like, oh, I'm for sure going to do that. But then, by the time 10 minutes comes later where you're going to sign up, there's 10 reasons you've convinced yourself why not to.
You know what I,
I
I
really,
love about it
yeah,
also? Oh, sorry, Doc.
no, please.
Is that, we don't remember everything we do every day, at least me personally. And we don't always have a chance to do, I guess we do have a chance to do a mitzvah, but the fact that we know every day we're not only giving tzedakah to a cause, we're helping somebody every day. And we can remember, like, oh yeah, I gave tzedakah yesterday. I gave tzedakah 2 days ago. I gave tzedakah. Like, it's you did a mitzvah every day. Like, it's a no brainer. Like it's literally there. You could
Yosh,
always
that's
like
that
last week
that
I did a mitzvah. Wait, a couple days ago I did. It's like you're doing a mitzvah every day.
how
Like
about
you
how
said,
about how about when you're like having a little bit of a down morning and like your email comes, it goes, thank you for your donation. You're like, oh wow, that's right. I'm a giver. I'm a giver. I gave today. Every day. And daily giving is not instead of, like, we're not like instead of giving to your local Hatzalah, your Tomchei
yeah,
Shabbos, or your local shul or school, right? It's $1 a day. It's 32.60 a month. The way it works is we can't hit your credit card every day because the transaction fee on $1 would be like 30 cents, and that would be the highest overhead ever, right? So the two options when you sign up is monthly or annually. It's 32.60 a month or 384 a year, and that basically covers what comes into our bank account after the platform and credit card fee is exactly enough so we can give $1 a day, the full dollar every day for you. And that's what it's about. Like, that's what I keep saying. It's about the frequency. It's about feeling it. It's about, I'm a giver, I'm a giver, I'm a giver, I'm a giver. And like you said earlier in this conversation about feeling worthless, like it's amazing, Yosh, how many people, it's amazing how many people think they're not good. It's amazing. It's remarkable. It's so sad that in 2026, but this is the nature. You're not, yes, you went through a very, very difficult thing that many people don't have to go through, and you ended up feeling really miserable. But there are people that have good jobs that make tons of money that are feeling deep inside are feeling
yeah,
miserable, and they're not feeling worthy. And giving is, I'd say, the cheat code. It's the cheat code to feeling more worthy and more good about yourself, because you are good. Everyone's good. Inherently, we're good. We have a piece of God in us. We are good.
yeah,
We are good. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to achieve anything. We don't have to make money. We are good. And the problem is that through life and childhood and birth order and, relationship difficulty and financial difficulty and the stuff you kind of, the horrible things that people have to go through in life and losing people, it clouds that. And we forget that we are inherently good, that we don't have to do anything to be good. And giving is one of those cheat codes that really helps you get back to reminding yourself that we are good.
I know firsthand. It made me feel better. You're right. It's a fact in my mind because I experienced it. Doc, I wanted to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about, who the organization gives to, who maybe even a story of somebody you've helped or how it works exactly so people could kind of know where their donation's going?
Yeah. We try to earmark the money. So not only is it 100 cents of your every dollar goes to charity, but like when you give to a charity, every charity has overhead, and people don't realize how hard it is to run organizations. Like, people have to work. Those people have salaries. They have their own people they have to support, right?
Yeah,
And the cost of living is expensive. So just having a couple employees is a very expensive, thing. So, but I don't want to take away from that. Like, overhead, organizations have overhead, and that's important that they have to raise that overhead. But when we give to organizations, we try to earmark that money. So, for example, we give to an organization called Ezer Mitzion. Okay, Ezer Mitzion is a massive, massive organization in Israel that does a lot of things. They help people with poverty, but they do a lot of also work in cancer. So they have like they're one of the rare organizations that I think does actually a really good job of being multifaceted. That they have, like, again, I in general, I think it's very important for an organization to be like kind of more niche. Like, if you're poverty, do poverty. Don't do poverty and cancer. but they do a lot of things within cancer. There's a lot of things with poverty, right? People are going through terrible things. They can't work. And so it's connected. Anyway, Ezer Mitzvah, what we fund for them is that for they have the I believe it's the largest Jewish registry for DNA. They swab people's cheeks for DNA.
Wow.
Okay, and just 25 years ago, if someone had just certain types of blood cancers, they would like in the world's registries, the chance that they would find a match would be like I think around 10%. That means like coin flip, like 1 out of 10. It's more like roulette. 1 out of 10, you're not making it. Okay. Now, because of these registries, and they've swapped so many people, they did something brilliant. They signed a deal with the IDF, and now it's not mandatory, but every single soldier that comes in, they get asked, "Do you want to swab your cheek to be a match for DNA?" And many do. And so through the years, they've swabbed hundreds, if not millions, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of soldiers. And I could be wrong. It could be 10 million. I don't know, right? 10 million, I don't know the amount of people they've swabbed, but it's a lot, right? And between them and all the world's registries, now I believe the number is approaching 90%. I believe 90. If you get one of these blood cancers just 25 years ago, that would be almost a death sentence. Now there's like a 90% chance that you'll have a match. And what we do for them is it costs $50 to swab that soldier. So we have a daily giving donor pool. So every time we've given them $500,000 over the last 7 years. So we've swabbed over 500,000 IDF soldiers. Actually, they've definitely done millions because we've swabbed. Hold on. I'm sorry. We swabbed 10,000 soldiers. Okay, it's 50 each, right?
Oh my God.
$500,000. We've swabbed over 10,000 IDF soldiers, and from our pool, just from the daily giving pool, meaning if daily giving never existed, this wouldn't have happened. From our daily giving donor pool, we have saved 19 lives so far.
Oh my God.
From our soldiers that we paid to swap.
People are satisfied with just one life. The fact that you're helping so many is unreal.
That's just one organization, Yosh. We give to 100. I'm just naming one organization. So for $1 a day, you get to have a part in saving people's lives. Literally, not like figuratively. It's literally.
I'm not just saying this because I'm on it. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Another charity that I want to bring up because
Please, the Olive Institute, right? Please.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No. Right before we got on, I was telling you.
I'm just a little biased, obviously. They did a real lot of good for me. I can't even put into words how thankful I am.
Yeah. So why don't I'll say what they do, and then why don't you tell a little story? You tell a little bit about your experience with them. But Olive, like again, when it comes to daily giving, we like to have a diversified portfolio of charities, right? So, you're going to give your big checks to wherever you like to give your big checks to, right? But for $1 a day, we want you to be able to feel like you get to help everyone in lots of different categories, right? And so when I heard about Olive, I'm like, wow, what an amazing organization to bring into the daily giving beneficiary organizations. And what Olive does is it does a couple things, but the main thing they do is they help the families and also people who are incarcerated, right? People going through court cases, and then they go to jail, and then the family. A lot of times, people spend their whole life's fortune on defending themselves, and then sometimes they still go to jail, and then their kids, their family, their wife, their kids are left with nothing. And Olive helps the families. They help the people in jail. They help send their kids to camps that they couldn't otherwise afford. I mean, they also have a whole division that helps Jewish U.S. Army veterans and getting them different things. So what they do is absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm proud of all of our organizations. They all do incredible things. But why don't you? I think you've had some personal experience with them. So why don't you share?
I'm gonna try not to tear up. You're really getting to me, man.
It's okay. What's wrong with tearing up?
No. Everyone knows me as a crier, so there's nothing wrong with it at all. But when I was incarcerated, one of the first things that I was worried about was, when am I going to put on tefillin again? And I put on tefillin every day. And Olive came that next day with my actual tefillin, my actual pair of tefillin. And so I was able to put it on every day when I was incarcerated. I got kosher food every day. Never had to worry about that. I had a rabbi who came and learned with me. I had them calling my family to make sure they had anything they needed with tuition or anything. They were 24/7 making sure I lived as much of a orthodox, content life while going through the worst time in my life every day. And then my family was okay. They made phone calls for us. to make sure things were easier for us. It was, and they bring tefillin to literally everyone who's Jewish that's incarcerated. And the first thing I actually did was I donated a pair of tefillin right after, because they are short on tefillin. So organizations like Daily Giving, you don't understand. Like when people get their tefillin when they're especially incarcerated from Olive, it changes your life. It saves you. I felt like I was saved. And
Wow.
it takes a lot to do that. When you're really down, I wasn't with my family, I wasn't, connecting to anything. When I first saw my tefillin, then they told me they go from cell to cell to wrap tefillin with people, and they sit with you for a half hour. When some people don't get guests for months. Now, I'm not trying to brag, but this is what they do for people that feel helpless. Like we're talking about earlier
Wow.
about you feel so down by yourself. I felt like I had life again. Literally, you're sitting there selling. They call your name. You go into your room with the rabbi. They wrap your tefillin. I was in tears. I was in tears because I thought, like, when am I going to be able to put on tefillin again? Because I knew that's what would bring me back to life. And then next morning, not only did I was able to leave my cell to go into another room, which is kind of cool, but I had a rabbi. I had two rabbis waiting there for me, actually, and they gave me books. They gave me, people don't get books. I was giving it to him, and I finished it to him every day because I was so thankful. I couldn't go to sleep without finishing it. Moda Hami
Wow.
had a new meaning to me. It was unreal. And it's because they brought this. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they bring all this stuff to me, but I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver. They saved my life, and I was able to connect to Hashem in a way that I never thought I would because I had all the tools that I needed. I had my sitter to heal him. I had a small weekly parsha book, and I put on my tefillin every day. Didn't miss a day.
Love it.
It's
Wow. Yeah.
it's not like if you're gonna give a daily giving, even for one organization. If you don't know, you're not familiar with the other ones, then the Olive Institute. If you don't even tear up, you don't think maybe I should give a little bit more based on what I just told you. You're literally helping people that think that they're worthless, that they think they have no meaning, because you have no idea how it feels to get your tefillin or put on tefillin or have someone visit you every day when you're incarcerated. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like you're getting a chocolate cake while you're in jail. You don't get any cake. So I'm telling you, that alone is a reason to give a daily giving. If you need a good, I personally lived it. I personally am thankful to places like Daily Giving and to Olive because I lived it firsthand.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's powerful.
I'm thankful every day. I think about it every day. How I literally opened it up and I'm like, it was funny because the rabbi's like, stop crying, put on your tefillin. You should be happy now.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Good for you. Love what you're doing. Love that you're sharing your light and sharing your platform and out there spreading good and light. It's amazing.
I'm thankful for what you're doing. I really am. That's
Yeah.
why I wanted you here today, because I think people need to hear it on all the time. I mean, I every day, that it's so important that you help others, and I'm very appreciative of what you came up with daily giving, because it's the easy way to, like I said, you're like, wait, I did a mitzvah a couple days ago. You're helping someone literally every day, and you don't have to do anything. That's it. It's
Yeah, and
very
now
simple.
like with inflation, it just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper, $1 a day. So it's the best deal. And I said to someone yesterday because they were like hemming hawing. I'm like, listen, I don't know about you, but I can't give $9 million a year. I don't have that kind of money. But like daily giving, like we're giving out over $24,000 a day. Like this is years ago, there was an article in one of like the major Jewish magazines about us, and the article was great. A lot of people signed up, but I love there was a letter to the editor in like the next issue, and it said that the guy said, actually, it might have been a woman. I don't know. It was anonymous. It was, it said, I've always struggled with tzedakah. And, I always felt like my $18 and $36 checks were meaningless. Like, what is that really going to do? And they said, for the first time ever with daily giving, I'm giving at the time was $14,000 a day. He's like, I feel like I'm a big philanthropist. And that's what it feels like when you join daily giving. You're a big philanthropist. We give $24,000 a day. And let me tell you, the impact we're having is immense. And it just feels great. And so, if anything we said today on this podcast, is inspiring you to give, I would just tell you the one thing I would do is I would say pause right now and go to dailygiving.org. Don't even wait, because that's how our body works and our brains work. Like, there's the Yetzer Hara is so strong to not give. And so just sign up. Say, okay, I'll sign up. I'll join. Let's see how it goes. And you'll see. I think you're going to be very, very happy that you did. And I hope you join us.
I agree. And once again, Doc, thank you for everything you do. And I'm glad that Hashem gave you the gift and the vision, because we need more people like you who realize how kindness goes so far and how important it is, especially with what we're going through as Jewish people. I mean, I'm just going to say, as Jewish people, we need each other more than ever. It doesn't mean non-Jews can't give a daily giving also, because you should help, anyone also. It doesn't matter if you're Jewish or not. It makes no difference. But helping people and united as a country or as people is more important than ever. We need to be there for each other, because that's how we're going to bring peace and closeness. And daily giving
100%.
is what it's all about. And I have nothing. I was gonna have like a little speed round. I was gonna have more quick, but this is what I wanted to focus on. I wanted to see people see it from your heart, how important it is. I want them to see it from my heart, because I'm passionate about it also. Because once again, I lived it. So, Doc, thank you for being here today on LivingYosh, and please keep on sharing your message. And I challenge everyone, if you want to go that way, to share daily giving as much as you can. With Rosh Hashanah coming up now, even more so. Yeah, if you want a good reason, Rosh Hashanah is coming up. Yom Kippur is coming up. Do it now, but don't wait. Start today. Dailygiving.com, and I'm going to share all the website.
Dailygiving.org.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No problem. Comment.
Dailygiving.org. Please share it. You have nothing to lose. You have so much to gain. Doc,
Thank you, brother.
For saying. I appreciate it.
Please send my best your siblings.
I will.
Okay.